This opening has a 65% win rate after move 5. It's called the Urusov Gambit. Okay, so in part 3 of the Urusov Gambit, we go e4 and they go e5 and we go bishop c4. If they come out to knight f6 and we attack the center, we went over if knight takes on e4. Now we're going over if e takes d4. We just bring out our knight to knight f3 attacking here. And if our opponent gets super greedy and takes our pawn, we end up taking his pawn on d4. And he has a couple of different options, f6 and d6. If he ended up going d6 to attack our bishop, we have a castle right here. And it's very lethal for him because now this file is going to be wide opened up. It's going to be very difficult. So if he ends up getting the trade that he wanted, we have rook to e1. If they block with bishop because they don't want to lose their queen, instead of taking the knight, we're actually going to take on g7, attacking their rook. And if they want to try and save the rook this way, we actually have bishop to h6, attacking this rook. This bishop is pinned. It's not actually defending at this moment in time, so the only defender is the king. It's going to be mate in 1 unless they play something like d6, and we could still take this here because the bishop cannot take. It's pinned. So when they come out here, we can actually take on f7 and attack the knight, and this is completely winning for white. The game is pretty much over, so even if he comes here, we just take, and then go knight c3 with plans to bring rook to d1, attacking his queen once again. There's not really a lot that your opponent can do. This would be a GG's. Now, if your opponent tries to go queen e7 to protect the knight, all we have to do is castle because now his queen's going to be compromised with this open e file over here. So when they go knight c6, we could just retreat to d1 and we'll be chilling. This is a much better position for white. And if they try to get out of the way with knight c5, all we have to do, go bishop g5, attacking this queen. The idea here is to provoke f6. So when they do, we just back up and we have more pieces developed than they do. Their king is stuck in the middle. Our king is safe. This is a much better position for white. But if they end up coming through, same thing. We just develop. We have a much better position. So if our opponent decides to go knight f6 in this situation, we can develop with knight c3. And if they go knight c6, attacking our queen and gaining tempo, we can just go queen to h4, trying to take control of this diagonal at the same time as attacking the king side in case he castles. So if they go bishop e7, trying to attack our queen, we can just go bishop g5, trying to remain control of this. And if they go h6, attacking our bishop, we can actually just castle on the queen side because he cannot take, because if he does, he loses a rook in this situation. And after he blocks with bishop, we have rook h to e1, completely frying our opponent. Now, if he doesn't take and decides, oh, maybe I just need a castle here, we can actually sacrifice our bishop instead and take on h6, and our king over here is completely exposed. And if he plays d5 to try and open up his diagonal while attacking our bishop and trying to cover this square, we could just take with bishop right here. And we have ideas of a discovered attack on his queen. We have so many things going on here. If he ends up taking and then we take back, we have ideas of bringing our rook over here or over here in order to checkmate our opponent. There's not a lot he can do, and his queen's getting attacked at the same time, and he can't do much because if he moves his queen out of the way, because he can't really block it, we just have rook h5, and it's a forced mate. He cannot stop this. If he decides to block it this way, similar method, we're just trying to get mate here, and he'd have to sacrifice in order to do things. So bishop f4, in order to grab this, we move out of the way. If he takes, we take. There's not much he can do. He has to sack his queen, and that's a GG's. We're completely frying our opponent.